must ask you a question. No? Okay, my fault, whatever.
Anyways, I have a great show for you today. Something a little different. No, a little way different. I have made Analyst Mountain. Shout out to, First Things First. I got it from them. Anyways, that's not the point. This is Analyst Mountain, week number 2. Now, let's take a look at week number 1 before we get started. As you can see, a little bit of stuff's been shaken up, but let's get right back to it. You may notice first take is at the bottom. So y'all not going to talk about Josh Giddey, but y'all going to talk about Von Miller. Bottom of the list. Okay. Plus, on first take, Shannon Sharpe is barely there. And on top of that, he getting a little washed. He's turning into like a Twitter analyst. Like he just regurgitates stuff. I don't know if it's his assistants or him, but I'm not really rocking with it. But that's just my opinion. I can't speak for everybody. But when he's cooking, hey. Anyways, let's move on. The NBA ESPN group, with Malika. Bottom tier. Come on now. I mean, you got Perk. I mean, he getting a little tired out, if we're gonna be honest. I mean, you got RJ. I mean, come on, bro. Malika. She made up. But Malika, come on, anyways. Let's move on up. So that's the D tier. Do I think they're gonna move or any shift? No, I doubt it. I don't think there's gonna be any change of that for a long time. Let's go to the C tier, okay? Now, we have Get Up. I don't mind Get Up, but I'm not going out my way to watch Get Up. Let's say it's like 5:30 p.m. I just got off. Pause. I'm not watching a Get Up clip from this morning. I mean, the cast is alright. I mean, shout out to Greeny, I guess, but I mean, anyways. Now we have Nightcap with Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco. I preferably like this. I can't really move it up, but the reason behind that, they don't really talk sports too much. But outside of that, it's hilarious. I mean, I love to watch it. If they talk more sports, they may get moving up. But are there highlighted clips or them not talking sports? Right. Undisputed. Ooh, y'all dropped. Now, why are you ahead of First Take? Well, you have a better cast, to be honest. Shannon is doing a lot of heavy lifting at First Take, but for Undisputed, it's like, come on now. Keyshawn, Richard, Playmaker, we get Paul Pierce, Rachel Nichols. I mean, come on, bro. Like, how you compete with that, man? Anyways, after a while, it's just overwhelming. I mean, it's great, but it's boring. Honestly, it's just them teaming up on Skip. And I mean, there's only so much Cowboy slander you could take, and I'm an Eagles fan. But at the end of the day, it's just
Screw up.
Screw up. And it's like, bro, come on.
And then Playmaker, don't you talk about Skip like that.
That's funny.
Anyways, let's move forward. We have the Herd. As you notice, the Herd took a dip. Colin's that guy. I mean, I got respect for him, but what is the last great clip you could say came from the Herd? It's been a while. So to keep it objective, they're gonna have to be a C tier show right now. Shout out to Colin though. B tier. Nobody. There is definitely a gap. A huge gap. Let's move on. To A tier, you may notice there's something a little weird, but let's start with what's there. First Things First. I love First Things First. If you don't watch it, go watch it. The clips, gold. I mean, the cast, I like it. Nick Wright took a little bit to grow on me, but honestly, I'm a huge fan, man. I am a huge fan. So shout out to y'all. Chris Broussard, I dig it. But it is what it is. They get the slight edge. They're in between. A tier and S tier will be the top, So like if it was a mountain, they're like right in between, like being at the top of the mountain, but being almost, Anyways, but they're not necessarily there yet. Their budget, is huge. Oh my goodness. But they are doing it. I mean, they have O.J. Simpson as an analyst. And Mo Claret. Bruh. I mean, the chemistry, mwah. The setup, mwah. But those ads, my boy, what are those ads, man? I mean, that I don't know. That y'all gotta fix that. But y'all getting paid and I'm not. So I mean, shout out to y'all. Can't even hate. Now let's talk about the top two. The Pat McAfee show is the best football show out. I want to say ever. I really want to say ever, but I need a little bit more longevity. But for right now, hey man, I got the arms out like him today because he is the GOAT. Oh my goodness, let me put my blanket on. It's cold in my house. It's cold up in here. Hey, but it's arms out for Pat, my boy. Arms out for Pat. Anyways, we even get Aaron Rodgers content. When do you ever get Aaron Rodgers content? I mean, I love the Pat McAfee show. But if there comes a time where we have to name the #1 show, Gilsarena, Agent Zero, Gilbert Arenas. Boy, that's a good show. So first, Josiah, great host. I mean, W host. They don't really be catching the jokes you be saying, but I be catching it on the slide. And that's why I be laughing. I rock with you. And this shoe game 5. Hey, don't let them hate. Don't let them hate. Keep rocking. Anyways, Kenyon Martin. His insight, I don't know, like if I've never just stopped and listened to him. The way he describes basketball is like art. Like I know that's cliche, but imagine someone just stopping and like painting a picture and they just get in their zone. That's what it's like listening to him speak about basketball. Rashad McCants, I hope you watch this. You're like Skip Bayless, and not in the bad ways, you know, or however you want to take that. But what you really say, people don't really agree with. But I get where you're coming from, and people don't want to agree with you because who's saying it. You get what I'm saying? I be rocking with you, but it's also like I can't be rocking with you in these situations. So that's where we're at. But hey, you're the glue who holds it all together, man. I mean, you're fantastic. We got Brandon Jennings. Shout out to BJ, man. I've been a fan since like I was in middle school. I mean, just getting content from him, crazy. Gilbert Arenas though, man. With the Pat McAfee show and Gilsarena being in the S tier, you know, the top of the Analyst mountain, I don't think a lot of people understand what makes them successful. First of all, their cast members, they have sponsors, but they don't really need the sponsors. So they're not really handicapped to say what they really need to, if you get what I'm saying. So to a certain extent, Stephen A, Shannon Sharp, they Skip Bayless to an extent won't go too far. But Gilsarena, hey, I mean, they not on Fox. They can say what they want.
Police. Man, you ain't even letting the ball touch the ground.
Yeah, that used to be, that was a good
that, that shit was the funniest shit going, realest shit going.
They had the best commercial pass it to nobody, boy.
Called the Fun Police.
Shit. All right, so
Pat McAfee, before getting signed, he wasn't with Disney. He could say what he want. Now, has he had to tone it down a little bit? Yes. But have you noticed ESPN lets a lot more slide, though, now? If you get what I'm saying.
On from Brett Favre, don't sue us, to Aaron Rodgers, Rocket has weapons that can dance.
Ooh,
like that.
But when you on from Brett Favre, don't sue us, to Aaron Rodgers.
They noticed the formula's working, so they're trying to work around it. So rather than handicapping Pat, they're like, you know what? We'll meet you 50-50. If anything, even Stephen A's starting to cuss more, which is weird. I could tell he's doing it more to keep up with Pat, but hey, top dog. Again, also, they have a rotating cast of NBA and NFL players who we normally don't get content from. For example, Aaron Rodgers and Zion. Now, they're used to the media scrutinizing them, right? So they're not willing to go out their way to meet with the media. But oh, it's Gil?
Sponsor me.
Oh, it's Pat? Come on, bro. Yeah, of course we could do an interview. Why not? That's the homie. We played together, or I get it, or I was once a fan. Why wouldn't the players want to do media with these type of people rather than us get Bayless, who just talks and talks? but doesn't really have the credentials to back it up outside of journalism. Same with Stephen A. They're not willing to do it. Now, Shannon Sharpe is a special case, but I think players are starting to not lean towards him. For one, we have the KD thing, okay? First of all, I agree with KD. Shannon Sharpe is a Twitter analyst. He only says stuff he finds popular on Twitter, which has been regurgitated like forever. But hey, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But also, think about the Julio Jones thing, right? A lot of people won't really say anything in confidence to Shannon because of what he did to Julio. If you don't remember, he called him live on First Take. He called him live on Undisputed and leaked that he wanted to go to another team. Now, him playing or not, it was enough buzz to people to be like, yeah, I'm not chatting with him about that. And if you notice, they haven't. Pat McAfee, I would say he has been a little handicapped due to ESPN. That's why I give Gilsarena the slight edge because, boy, they can just let loose and just say what they want. And 5:30 p.m., I just got off work. I'm sliding to Gilsarena. But in terms of Gilsarena, y'all be posting those fake, easy peasy questions that y'all don't want to upset anybody. So I made my own questions. And when you see this, when you see this, I want y'all to put these on. And I'm going to put my underdog on. You ain't got to, well, not pay me anyways. But these are some good questions. How about this? What would happen first? Gil getting 5 buckets on Rashad or Rashad getting 5 stops on Gil? How would both of you exploit this matchup?
You feel me? You feel me? Come on. All right.
Number 2, all right? This is for Brandon. We hear about the positives, but how did playing overseas negatively affect your development and where you landed in the draft? Number 3, Gil versus Brandon. Let's get into it. 1v1 to 5 points. But the only way to win is to get a stop. Who gets the dub? I'm cooking. Boy, I'm cooking. Number 4, what's the craziest gift you bought someone while being pro? Question 5, the last one. This is for Gil. There are a lot of NBA players with painted nails. We know it's for a bag. We all know Gil is all about the bag. With that being said, would Gilbert Arenas paint a nail for a check while playing in the NBA?